Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and thank you for tuning into a brand new episode of The Nation Wants to Know, and I'm Deepti Sachdeva. If you've noticed what's really going on vis-a-vis Israel, the Hezbollah, Hamas and the Houthis now, you must have also noticed that there is a group of people in the country who love these terrorists, who do not have the problem that these are terror groups who not just terrorize, who not just kill, who not just rape. The problem is that they believe that they are fighting for an Islamist cause. And I think that is the only thing that matters to them. And that is why they also have a problem with Benjamin Netanyahu, because he's a Jew. And that is why when you have the Prime Minister speaking to Benjamin Netanyahu just a few hours earlier, and he makes a very clear, unequivocal message that terrorism is something that affects all of us and there is no tolerance that should be, perpetrated for terror. There are some people who again have a problem. They are talking of the Hezbollah and what's going on in our country vis-a-vis Manipur in the same breath. Can you believe it? These are the same people who say terror has no religion. But then they want to ensure and bat and their hearts bleed for the Hezbollah, again for the terror group. So again today, the nation wants to know that what happens to such people. Should they not side with India's foreign policy? If these people are Indian, they hold Indian passports. A lot of these usual suspects are already up on your screens. Right from the PDP, that remember was the first to say that we mourn the demise of Nasrallah, to images that have come to us from the national capital, where again at a prominent place here in the Lutyens, Delhi, you've seen a remembrance service for Nasrallah, for the terror group. These are people who are worried because of the terror group. And on the other side, you have images also of the Prime Minister, who's had this conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu that has irked many. If you're wondering what really is this connection, and is the opposition only and only right now troubled by the fact that you have India, that today is at the driver's seat, it is driving a lot of conversations, not just here, but across the world. Do they have a problem with the Prime Minister saying that terror is something that affects all of us? Sit back and watch what has happened through the day on that story and what are the kind of responses we have from political parties and leaders here in India.
प्रधानमंत्री हैं, वो क्या बोलते हैं, क्या नहीं बोलते हैं, अपनी एक इंटरनेशनल इमेज बनाने में लगे रहते हैं। वो ट्रेन से बैठ के चले गए अभी सोवियत रूस की सीमा पर यूक्रेन में, अब यहाँ बोल रहे हैं। यहाँ सुन कौन रहा है इनकी? पर ये जरूर मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि उन्हें मणिपुर पे ज्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए, जिसके लिए सीधे सीधे वो जिम्मेदार है। वहां के कभी गए नहीं, वो वहां रोकने का प्रयास नहीं कर रहे हैं और इजराइल में रोकने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। इसी तरीके से जो हालात दिल्ली के हो रहे हैं, देश के हो रहे हैं, उस पर जरा चिंता प्रधानमंत्री जी करें।
Congress party needs to come out beyond Manipur. Manipur is a sensitive area. All of us need to work together, going on. Let Congress party stop stoking fire in the cauldron of Manipur. All of us should collectively join. मणिपुर समस्या सुधरनी चाहिए, कोशिश चल रही है, लेकिन खाली मणिपुर का राग और बाकी पर खामोशी, ये भी तो ठीक नहीं है ना?
So to the same people who said terror has no religion, why should they have a problem with India making it very clear that terror must not be tolerated? Do we not know? Have we not gone through terror? These are questions that will be asked today. We have Pradeep Bhandari, the BJP's national spokesperson, with us here in our studios. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is a senior fellow at the IPCS joining us, along with Lokesh Jindal, who's also a political analyst. He does lean towards Congress. Ravi Srivastava, also a political analyst. He leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. And Tausif Shah is a senior leader of the PDP. And without wasting time, Lokesh, Ravi and Tausif, I would want to believe that none of you support the Hezbollah. None of you support terrorists, because none of you should be supporting Al-Qaeda. Tausif?
Thank you, Deepti, for calling online. I would just like to claim a stand. As a party president has already done it. We stand with the human rights violation. We stand with wherever the violation happens, we stand with that. with Palestine, and we stand with the people who stand with Palestine.
Tausif, okay. Now, because this is for the second straight day that we are looking at this story, do you remember, can you describe to us what happened on October the 7th? What was that attack all about? Can you describe that to our viewers?
We cannot only see October 7th. We have to see how was the Hezbollah created?
No, can you tell me what happened on October the 7th? Why don't you educate our viewers? Tell me what exactly happened on October the 7th.
Just give me 3 seconds. Just give me 3 seconds to complete my points. If you go back to 1982, we see that Israel, without any warning, without anything, simply invaded southern Lebanon, which was the creation of the Hezbollah. And from that day, the Hezbollah
are you Tausif, are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed to tell me what happened on October the 7th? Why should this be so difficult?
October 7th.
Because your heart is bleeding for the terror group, that is Hezbollah, and for Nasrallah. Please tell us what happened.
Not for the terror group. October 7th was the retaliation of past 65 years. If you go back, we see that 65.
Can you tell me how many babies were slaughtered? Can you tell me how many women were raped? Can you tell me how many families were burnt alive? Can you tell me any of that?
Yes. If you can go into the Google, if we check on the both of the sites, we'll see that thousands of Palestinians have been raped, killed.
So are you justifying this? Tausif, are you in any way justifying this?
We are not justifying. We are saying that we stand with the two-nation theory of the Palestine, which has been accepted by the United Nations, and we accept this. That Netanyahu is a person
so raping women, slaughtering babies, is this all a part of human rights? Is this all a part of human rights now?
So both sides are doing the same. You yourself seen that we have seen that Israel is starving 3-year-old small kids.
So what should anyone do if you're attacked? What should anyone do? Tausif, what should anyone do when Pakistan attacks us? Should we not respond in kind? What should we do?
This is what I want
should
to
we
say.
let our people die?
No, did we do? We have fought 3 wars with our neighbor Pakistan. Did we ever stop their food?
Is Pakistan a rogue state?
Stop their water?
Do you believe Pakistan is a rogue state?
Because we are humans. Because we are humans.
No, what is human about the fact that you slaughter babies? What is human about the fact, Ravi Srivastava, that you go and burn families alive? Why haven't we heard, leaders from the Congress, Lokesh, condemning this? Rahul Gandhi, Lokesh, the Congress party had put out a statement supporting Palestine. And as far as I remember, Abhijit, there was not a word, not a reference to the October 7th attack. Lokesh, can you tell me why?
Deepti, first of all, anywhere if there is a human right violation, it must be condemned. However, we must take due consideration of those who are vulnerable and those who are those sections of society which get impacted by such forms of
So why did you not mention the October 7 attack, Lokesh, in the resolution? Tell me that.
Deepti, what is happening in West Asia is an outcome of radicalism, extremism, intolerance, and a form of disregard for human rights. This is what has to be condemned and opposed all over the globe. Now, you cannot have this particular policy adopted at home and you go outside India carrying out the peace message wherever this is taking place.
So what should we do? Lokesh, what should we do? Tell me.
We must adopt Nehruvian principles and ideology in practice at home as well. Only then can India carry forward the message of Vasudev Kutumbakam outside.
Really?
Why have you ever wondered why is Nehruvian legacy still relevant today? Why is it that even in Levant and the entire region of West Asia, Nehru is still regarded? Is because he practiced what he preached.
No, does India? No, Lokesh, you have an Indian passport, right? You have an Indian passport.
Yes,
we have India's foreign policy, right? Or should we
Yes,
not
we
have an India's coherent foreign policy because the opposition hates Narendra Modi? So whatever he says, whatever
We do
he
not
does
hate.
has to be
We do not
targeted.
hate. No, we do not hate our Prime Minister. We only question our Prime Minister that with respect to Manipur, what is
Why can't
happening...
you question the Hamas? How is that difficult, Lokesh?
Hamas is who is the Hamas for us?
A simple resolution.
Have we elected Hamas?
We
Who
have
is
the
Hamas?
PDP, we have the National Conference,
Deepti,
who
why
are
will
shedding
we-
tears
why
for the
will we
Hezbollah for
consider about
Nasrallah.
Hamas?
Can you tell me, did Rahul Gandhi put out
Who
one
is
single
Nasrallah?
statement? One single statement?
Deepti, why should we worry about Hamas, Nasrallah and all these people? They are not our leaders. They are not...
So why is Mehbooba Mufti saying that there should be mourning for Nasrallah? Why
If
does the National
Mehbooba
Conference,
Mufti-
and you have the PDP representative here on the show, who says that this is
I'll
about the
answer this.
Islamist cause?
I'll answer this. If Mehbooba Mufti questions denial of human rights to certain minorities in Israel and use of arms and ammunition on civilian population, that is something even you should support.
So
In
what
fact,
happened on
we
October the
as humans
7th?
must-
Ravi, before I get to you, Abhijit, should not matter. It should not matter. We should not talk about it because they deserve this.
Me or Ravi?
Abhijit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, there are lots of misinformation that's been spread right now. And it's quite curious how clueless these people are. Why did Israel go into Lebanon first in 79 and 82? Because the Palestinians who had settled in Jordan tried to overthrow the king. Understand this. The king who had given them refuge, Fatah and Yasser Arafat, tried to stage a coup and take over the government and kill the king of Jordan who had given them refuge. He then kicked them out in 1970 and they went to Lebanon. They took over Lebanon, turned it into a terror base for their attacks on Israel, stoking the civil war. In 79, Israel invaded and pushed them north of the Litani River. They then started a campaign of bombing. The UN sent peacekeepers out there. They started killing UN peacekeepers, the PLO. And then the Lebanese civil war started in full. When the Christians invited the Israelis in, they allied with the South Lebanon army and participated in the Lebanese civil war. Notice out here, the PLO, the so-called representative of the Palestinians, tried to overthrow not just a Muslim king, but a Hashemite king, related direct descendant of the Prophet himself, and tried to take over his country. You're telling me these people have any morals? You're telling me these people have any gratitude? They were engaging in outright, they hijacked 7-8 planes, brought it to the Jordanian desert and blew it up in an event called Black September. Okay, so let us be very clear about this. Israel went in there, fine. Today, what part of Lebanon does Israel occupy for the last 10-15 years? Nothing. So why is Hezbollah then allowed to attack Israel?
Israel, yes. Let's
So,
ask
you know,
Ravi.
these
Let's
people
ask Ravi that
basically-
question. Abhijit, I
basically,
think that
Deepti-
is the real question, and a lot of people here on the panel will not have an answer to that question also. Ravi?
And finally, very quick point, Deepti, if you allow
Yes.
me, very quick point. You know, as for Nehru's great diplomatic ability, he came up with a peace plan for Israel-Palestine, for the partition of Palestine. The Israelis hated the Palestinians hated the Israelis. They never agreed on anything. In their entire history, they only agreed on one thing, that Nehru's peace plan was so bad, they threw it out unanimously. It was the only thing the Israelis and Palestinians agreed on, that they threw out Nehru's peace plan.
Okay, Ravi.
This was his diplomacy.
Okay, Ravi?
Deepti, the first thing is that we are not interested in the history. Who started what? Hezbollah was founded by the Iran only. Now, today, there is no terror act. I am telling, it's not a terror act. A full-fledged war is going on in the Middle East. It is not individual. It is not the one country fighting with the another. And very shortly, you will see to it that this will spread like a pandemic in entire Middle East. And India's foreign policy is a super flop in the whole region. We abstain when the voting takes place in the United Nations because we want to be on the both sides. We are supporters of the Palestine and the Gaza for last 70 years. It is not Nehru only. It is this government also supported it. So now today we call them, they are the terrorists. Zafar Nasrallah, the Hassan Nasrallah has been killed, and now some people are mourning. So we make it an issue that this is
should we not
terror
be
has got a
concerned of
religion.
these protests happening on our land, Ravi? Ravi, on your screen are images that have come in not from anywhere else. This is the valley. This is Mehbooba Mufti. And not just in Kashmir, here in Delhi. In Delhi at the India Islamic Center, there has been a remembrance for Nasrallah, the terrorist.
The images coming from Manipur. I am more concerned about the images coming from Manipur. 1.5 years, 250 people died, several hundred women raped. What our Prime Minister has done?
Ask those questions, Ravi. You must ask those questions. But does that let you play politics when it comes to terror? Does that let you play politics when it comes to terror? When Hindus are massacred in Bangladesh, you know, we were waiting for the Congress party to respond for ages. The Aam Aadmi Party said not a word. The PDP obviously does not care.
Why should you wait?
Right. Because all that, Ravi, that concerns these political parties is their vote bank.
You have given a political asylum to Sheikh Hasina in India for last 2 months. She's resting here.
So that justifies the massacre of Hindus in Bangladesh.
There is no justification.
That justifies the massacre. That justifies Mehbooba Mufti and the National Conference right now worrying for Hezbollah.
For the war
and calling Nasrallah a martyr. That justifies all this. But Pradeep, now let me ask some tough questions to Pradeep. Pradeep, Manipur. Whenever, there is a mention of Manipur, the BJP is on the back foot. The opposition says, forget everywhere else. Why have you not been able to ensure that there is peace in Manipur? That's question number one. The other question that has to be asked, Pradeep, is that, these are parties like the PDP, the National Conference. We've seen a fantastic turnout in Jammu and Kashmir in these elections. Tomorrow, after the results, if there is a situation that there is no one party getting a clear majority, tell me categorically that you will never do business with the PDP or the National Conference.
No. I
Why?
tell you categorically, no, we will not do
You will never do business.
Yes,
the
I'm telling
BJP
you, the
says
mandate,
this today, you will never
now
do business with either the PDP or the BJP.
The mandate will be for the Bharatiya Janata Party-led government, point number one. Deepti, there's a very important point. You look at the irony. Mehbooba Mufti protests for Hezbollah, but slain Jammu Kashmir head constable Bashir Ahmed, the man, the Shaheed, who was killed by the terrorists from Pakistan on September 29, Mehbooba Mufti does not protest for him. That is the irony here, that Mehbooba Mufti bats for Pakistan, bats for terrorists, point number one. Thank God we are not implementing Nehruvian policy. Had we implemented Nehruvian policy, we would have gifted land like Nehru had gifted land to Chinese, and we would have gifted the UNSC permanent membership of the Security Council like Mr. Nehru had gifted the Chinese. So yes, we are not implementing Nehru's policy where you do dialogue with Pakistan. Even if Pakistan does act of terror, we do surgical strike. That is point number one. Now point number two, Deepti, let me come to Manipur. I never wanted to politicize Manipur, Deepti, but let me just state facts on Manipur. If you look at the facts on Manipur, Deepti, since when the Congress party was in power, more than 180 days Manipur was burning. Neither Sonia Gandhi made a statement, neither that time the Congress party made a single statement. Prime Minister
why
in the
should you compare
No, you are, because they are
Congress
politicizing.
party?
It's an issue of national security.
There is a reason why the Congress and the opposition, right?
Deepti, the issue is about national security. If you remember, just today, AFSPA has been imposed on entire part of Manipur, bearing apart 19 police stations. During the time of the Congress party, AFSPA was imposed since 1980. You know there are foreign elements which are involved. These people want to get some petty votes in order to raise Manipur. We are more concerned about Manipur than you guys are, but we don't want to pay vote bank on it. I'll tell you the difference. Priyanka Vadra speaks about Gaza on 11 December, 31st December, 22 February, 18th October, 28th October, 26th July. Have you seen her make a single statement on Bangladeshi Hindus? Have you seen her make a single statement about peace? No. They hate because it is India which is able to speak peace with Israel and Lebanon. It is India which is able to speak peace with with United States of America, Russia, Ukraine. They hate the fact that Indian foreign policy is going forward.
I see Ravi very, very agitated. Ravi, what are you agitated for? What are you agitated for, Ravi?
Zelensky,
apart from playing politics, settling your political scores.
What a Vishwagyani are you? What kind of Vishwagyani is the Prime Minister?
Again and again, you're so obsessed with Narendra Modi that it's just about Modi, Ravi.
Because
it's not about the country.
Creating the disaster.
It is not about terrorism for you. This is a fight against terror, for God's sake.
That's the reason.
Lokesh will respond to what you've just heard from Pradeep. Lokesh.
See, all I can say over here is you cannot claim that whatever is happening in Israel is more important than that is happening in Manipur. We see that human lives
with that
are...
logic, Priyanka Vadra
Wait a minute.
spoke 7 times on Gaza.
Wait a minute,
Has she
Pradeep,
spoken about a
Pradeep,
single
wait a minute.
domestic issue
Wait.
concerning India?
Okay,
Please tell me that.
let him
Pradeep,
respond.
Pradeep,
Lokesh,
Pradeep.
yes.
See, when you are talking about the people of Manipur, the government of India has got a responsibility, not only moral but legal, political responsibility to protect the lives of people in Manipur. Now, you cannot compare that to any other region.
Can I answer this point?
Now, here there is a complete disregard for the mandate that they have got, the responsibility, why they are in power. And you cannot have this form of a policy where you neglect your own duties, your responsibilities.
When you say, Lokesh, that the government is neglecting Manipur, can you put out any facts?
Give
on
me
the
a
table?
fact.
Yes,
It is
I'll
okay
give
to
you-
sit in the opposition, say things that stoke sentiments, Lokesh. These are extremely important internal security issues.
There are certain questions.
Yes.
Number one, why wasn't Biren Singh sacked in Manipur?
It's a political question.
As a chief minister, he has
You allow a
failed to-
Mehbooba Mufti to shed a tear for Nasrallah, and you are asking why is the Manipur chief minister not sacked?
Deepti, I don't need sermons from a political party which is extremely silent when their alliance partner goes and bats for Afzal Guru, a political party which echoes the same sentiment that the Pakistan echoes on Jammu and Kashmir, a political party which stands with Alan Umar and is not issuing a statement, a political party which is backed with likes of global terrorists like Pannu. So point number one. Point number two, the number of insurgent groups surrendered in Manipur in the last many years is 10 times more than during the time of UPA. UPA had Manipur only burning and curfew was there. Right now it is a sensitive issue. I don't want to politicize it. The Prime Minister also spoke about it. The AFSPA is imposed on certain part. They want to get certain petty votes. This is their issue. They will raise about Gaza, but they will not speak about daughters of India. They will not speak how Priyanka Vadra backs Kathua rape backer, backs and campaigns for the individuals who back the Kathua rapists, and they speak about Gaza. What is this hypocrisy?
I want to give the last word to Tausif Shahji. We just have about 30 seconds. Tausif Shahji, why should you be so silent? You should tell me that what do you feel for the Hezbollah and Nasrallah? Now the world should know. The mask should come off now.
We don't feel anything for Hezbollah. Neither do they belong to us, nor do we belong to them. We belong to India, and India belongs to us. But we only stand with Palestine. It's a very clear and straightforward stand.
So Hezbollah is not the Palestinian cause, right?
We stand with Palestine. We stand with the...
He could not condemn
whatever human rights atrocities that they are being doing. We stand with them.
But Tausif Shahji, Hezbollah is not the Palestinian cause. You know that very well. But still, because it's just about politics and undermining India, so you allow this politics to be played out.
Right now, Hezbollah was fighting for the Palestinian human rights. They have made hospitals, they have made schools, they have given them the facilities which were bombarded by the Israelis.
I just told you what, if nothing more, I think our viewers must do this. At the end of this conversation, Abhijit, if you just Google what happened on October the 7th, the details are horrific.
He will not
The details are horrific. And then you must think about leaders like Mehbooba Mufti, leaders from the National Conference.
Shame.
Whose hearts still bleed for Hezbollah and Nasrallah, and who have a problem with the Prime Minister speaking against terror. We let you decide whether this should be allowed in the country or not, only for want of time. Gentlemen, I'm thanking all of you for joining us. We quickly need to head into a break. On the other side, back with more.